I think I would like to say something that might come off as a bit of a shock, but Fulfills, my organization, should not exist. We provide online college education to overseas Filipino workers. And while I think it is good that we are providing each individual OFW with college education, let's take a step back and look at the bigger issue that we're facing. Why do we as an NGO even have to provide online college education or college education at all to our kababayans? Why is that not provided already by our government here in the Philippines before they move abroad? And I think this is an issue that the government also has to address. And it is a representation of the shortcomings of our government. And it could be part of the collateral damage of corruption. As much as it is great that NGOs like mine, like Fulfills, provide financial literacy to OFWs, provide education, provide legal advice to our OFWs, whether in Hong Kong or around the world, I think we as a Filipino people and as voters, we must also recognize that these NGOs are merely our tape on a wound, our band-aids. They are not genuine solutions, because we should be looking to genuine long-term solutions that address these issues of education inequity, of the education crisis that we as a country are currently facing. And let's address those and make those a priority so that NGOs like Fulfills don't have to exist. So we can live in a Philippines where people don't move abroad without a college degree. In terms of historical revisionism, we can see our history being rewritten as we speak. And how our country and our textbooks portray things like martial law. We should be able, as young people, to listen to these older generations, hear their stories, hear the stories of them marching through EDSA, and we should be able to understand and internalize that, even if we weren't present there. And I think just as that is happening, I think the older generations should also be able to listen to younger Filipinos, whether here in the Philippines or around the world, and be able to hear them be angry at the government, be protesting at the government, and instead of, for example, like my fellow panelists said earlier, instead of red tagging these young people for protesting and for going on the streets, we should hear them, hear their voices, just as we hear your voices.
So it goes both ways.
I think, for me, one message to the Filipino youth, whether here in the Philippines or around the world, is to just look around you. There's so many Filipinos working, living, being active members of the community in countries and places around the world. And so just look around you. What are their needs? What do they need support in? And see how you can step in. If that means a small bake sale, a fundraiser, then do that. If it means starting an entire NGO, then do that. Do not restrict yourself into what you think is possible and impossible. Because if I did that, when I started Fulfills just 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, I would not be sitting here with all of you today. And I think that's a very important message I want to share. But at the same time, I think that members of the Filipino youth and also the non-youth members, again, in the Philippines or around the world, should be active members of the community in the Philippines, especially in terms of our politics and our government. There are so many issues that we as Filipinos face. Lack of education access, this idea that Filipinos and stigmatization that Filipinos are just loud and on the streets leaving trash everywhere. And these issues often stem directly from government inefficiencies and government shortcomings that can be addressed by voting right, by electing the right people into power, by really doing your research. What are their qualifications? What are their track records? What do they want to do in the future as members of the government? Stop looking at the last names of people and deciding that that is the basis on which you should vote. We should be actively looking at the qualifications of politicians so that we can benefit OFWs and the greater Filipino community to create a brighter future for us all.
Motto.